Faith is your power. It's your heart, it's your pulse. It's that inner strength that pulls you through everything that seems impossible. And you look back on these things after it's all over and you laugh. Faith even gives you that. Because you know that if it had to happen again, you could do it again. Because faith is your best friend.
Ourselves permission to move a little bit, so if you feel like moving in your seat, please do. That beat really got me excited. But good evening and welcome. I'm Jody, the Executive Director of the ADF, and I know many of you, and it's great to see you here. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the highly anticipated return of Rennie Harris Pure Movement American Dance Street Theater. This is the fourth time that the company has been to ADF, and every single time it gets people out of their seats dancing. But tonight's really special because we're going to present the 2023 Samuel H. Scripps American Dance Festival Award for Lifetime Achievement in Choreography to Rennie Harris. This is the first time it's being given to a hip-hop choreographer. The Scripps ADF Award was established in 1981 through the generosity of the late Samuel H. Scripps. It was the first of its kind to honor choreographers who've dedicated their lives and talent to the creation of modern dance. It's affectionately called the Sammy, and comes with a check for $50,000. As well as this beautiful sculpture that was designed most recently by John Nathanson, who's in the audience tonight. Awards can have a beginning, but they love to have a continuation. And that continuation of this prestigious award is made possible with the vision and the leadership of Richard Feldman, the president of the SHS Foundation. And he is here tonight, and I hope that we can all give him a big round of applause. And of course, it's also being generously supported by Barbara and Sebastian Scripps and Wendy Scripps. I just wanted to say quickly, it's been a crazy few years, but Rennie Harris was one of those people that was willing to work really closely with me during the pandemic. And a lot of people maybe didn't see any dance, but some people were willing to look online and see things that were streamed. He had a program that he presented here in 2019 called Functified. It was one of the most energetic pieces, both with the music and the dancing, and he allowed us to make a shortened version. We streamed it, he edited it, and then the amazing Robert Battle did an interview with him. We made a complete package. We got it into the schools, K through 12, over 5,000 people, kids, got to see this program, and there was a curriculum built upon it. So I just want to say a huge thank you, because his work was spread out all over North Carolina during the pandemic. And I like to bring things full circle. So Efrat Asheri was a student many years ago, and some of you might have seen her work. But it was seeing Rennie's work as a student here that led her career and her path in what she does. And as recent as 2019, we had the executive director doing a master class for students here. And an amazing dancer, Angela Anderson, who was an SDI student, took the master class, and Rodney thought she was terrific. And guess what? She is now a company member of the Rennie Harris Pure Movement. So now it's an incredible honor to introduce tonight's presentee of this award, the very talented, the very handsome, the very charismatic artistic director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Street Theater, Mr. Robert Battle.
Thank you. It's good to have some friends in the house. Ooh, it turns out I'm tall. There you go. And I have a really good friend in the house. I mean, everybody here is important. You know that, right? Well, I start to tell you the most important person is not you. It is my teacher from high school, Miss Houlihan. Jerry Houlihan, my friend, who's right there. Okay. Now to why we're here, and I was just so honored to be asked to present this. And I heard that if you present here enough, you might get presented. Okay, so Rennie Harris, his narrative, informative, provocative, profound he is, evocative, pop-locative, shift-shaking, body-quaking. Rennie Harris, history-making, informative, profound he is, evocative, pop-locative, Rennie Harris. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wrote that down. When asked, what kind of impact do you think dance can have on society? Rennie answered, in my opinion, dance is the most dangerous of all the expressions. It's the one thing that unites folks in the same space physically. What I mean is movement and rhythm binds folk to an unseen force, and when engaged, can change reality. Remember, most define dance as following a set of sequenced steps. Therefore, to literally march in protest is an expression of dance. To work collectively to build a building is a form of dance. Dance, movement, changes reality as we know it. Rennie Harris. Well, you know, he roams the globe dropping jewels straight like that. See, some of you got what I did there? Roman jewel, okay, whatever. All right, so I just want to go back a bit from my first time meeting him. I knew about him as the legend. I had done my first work for the Ailey Company, 2003, and before I finished the work, Judith Jamison called me into her office. This is before we had the building that we have now. And she said, I want to bring you back. I thought that was a good sign because I hadn't left yet. And she said, I want to do a work celebrating us moving into this new building. And I want to do a 3-part ballet with 3 choreographers, past, present, and future. She said, I'll do the past. And then I want Rennie Harris for the present. And then I want you to do the future. And I was like, cool. And I was just so intimidated by Rennie Harris, by his legend, by his work, by his look, by his vibe. And I'm going like, first of all, I'm gonna work with him and then I'm gonna follow him. Thanks, Judy. And it was amazing. We became fast friends. And then many years later, when that future did become me, I remember it was my first season and I only had one commission, 2011. And I thought, I know who to call. I'm calling Rennie Harris. And so he was chilling somewhere. And I said, hey, Rennie, you know, I got that little gig and boy, it'd be great to have you. And he said yes, and he made an incredible work called Home. And then I brought him back again and again, and as he would say to our manager, like, you gotta stop your boss from rolling up on me. So I rolled up on him and I said, about 5 years ago, I said, how you doing, Rennie? It's been years, it's great, how you doing? He's like, I got a little time off, been working hard. I was like, great, the stress level's down, very good, yeah, I'm cool, I'm on the beach, whatever I'm doing. I'm like, that's great, listen. Next year, we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Ailey Company, and we've never done a full-length work, which I'd love you to do, and here's the subject. The subject is the life of Alvin Ailey. How's your stress level now? And I have to tell you that he not only delivered, but he did something that, to me, is why I say he is dance history. He took Alvin's life and made a work that had to do with the universal condition, which often reminds me of what Alvin Ailey said is what he was really trying to do is hold a mirror to society so that people could see how beautiful they are. And that is Rennie Harris to me. And one of the most profound moments in that work, and I remember sitting with Judith Jamison and watching a run-through of it and us fighting tears, because he did this wonderful thing where he had this conversation with Alvin at the end of the work. It was audio, it wasn't a real conversation, right? And it wasn't even AI. It was 5 years ago. But what he did was this wonderful thing that I've always wanted to do, which I never got to meet Mr. Ailey. And so I really sort of identified with this, and I just want to read what he said at the end of this conversation to Alvin Ailey. Rennie Harris said, I wanted to get some thoughts out, so I was writing something. My bitterness made me depressed, and I wanted to go home. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I was ashamed. While my family was struggling, I was becoming successful, but I realized my success was built on racism. See, in hip hop, it's about respect. And in order to get respect, you have to show respect. And once we show respect for each other, we can heal ourselves and forget about the suffering and pain caused by the other man. And maybe then we can come together and stop them from killing black people. I was thinking about calling this Another Black Man, but I don't know, it ain't really all that, but you know what I mean? I just felt like it's something you could understand, Mr. Ailey. When I heard that and when I saw the work, I realized that we were kin, that we were brothers from another mother. Maya Angelou says it best. We were entwined in red rings of blood and loneliness before the first snows fell, before muddy rivers seeded clouds above a virgin forest and men ran naked, blue and black-skinned into the warm embraces of Sheba, Eve, and Lilith. I was your sister. I am your brother. That's Rennie Harris to me. And so, like I said, his narrative, informative, provocative, profound he is, evocative, pop-lock it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Rennie Harris. So now I will read the rap sheet, right? I will read the citation. Rennie Harris, dancer, choreographer, director, scholar, writer, teacher, storyteller, hip-hop is the soundtrack of our times. And more than an artistic movement, it is a cultural revolution on an international scale. At the heart of this revolution is dance, and at the heart of this dance is Rennie Harris. With his masterful transference of hip-hop from the community to the concert stage, Rennie Harris brings together multiple, often contrasting elements into performances of breathtaking power and poetic virtuosity. From the earthiness of sample sound to the airy cadences of Shakespearean language, from the boldest of superhuman physicality to the most intimate of internal landscapes, his work trembles with truth. As a dance scholar of keen insight, he is both a historian of tradition and a practitioner of the vividly immediate, and with the rare ability to define and articulate the sources of his language without losing any of their visceral impact. Crafting work simultaneously joyous and heartbreaking, he weaves together deeply personal imagery into a fabric of universal expression. In its musical and kinetic power, his work transcends cultural divides and celebrates the pulse of the body, the pulse of a community beating in the heart of all humanity. Rennie Harris is a storyteller of our time. The company he founded, Rennie Harris Pure Movement, celebrated its 30th anniversary in 2022 and has evolved into a touchstone of contemporary dance and dance performance. His works are magnetic, brilliantly engaging while opening the heart to deeper meaning and give voice to the unvoiced. In the work of Rennie Harris, dance is not a metaphor for life, but life itself. Congratulations.
I don't know how to follow all of that. How you doing tonight? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to make it brief, and thank you, Robert. That was one of the changing moments in my life when I was invited to set work on Alvin Ailey, American Dance Company. Because as a street dancer, I don't know any modern or ballet or contemporary jazz or maybe a little African. But so I was really surprised when I got the phone call from Judith originally and then Robert more than once. And my thought and my thought was, you want me back again? Like, really? Like, what? Because each time he pushed me, or Ailey pushed me to raise the bar. Because I was thinking, like, what am I going to do? How do I make Ailey look like Ailey, and not, be pretentious about it with hip hop. So anyway, thank you, Robert. and Judith as well for giving me the chance. Okay, I got a lot of thank yous. Okay, so hold on. All right, so first I wanted to thank Jody Kaplan for her patience and persistence as an agent, and always just being an amazing person. I don't think I've ever seen her sad at any point in time, and she's been a major help with Rainier Harris Pure Movement, and I wanted to acknowledge that, the work that she's put in for us. Also, of course, thank Samuel H. Scripps, Jody Newmanger, and ADF staff, faculty, and the crew for their consistent support of my work. I'm always surprised, again, when I'm invited to come back. Because I feel like I'm going to do it, and okay, I'll catch you later. Where are we going next? You know, that kind of thing. And so I'm happy to continue this relationship or continue a relationship with ADF. And I, encourage other festivals like ADF to support artists and to, not just me, other artists, and to continue to support them consistently. Because that's what we need as, as artists, like to know that, okay, maybe every 3 years I'm coming back over here, to have sort of that full-on relationship that we're supposed to have with the theaters and the folk who curate the dance that you see. So thank you again, Jody, ADF, staff and crew as well. They're lovely to work with, and every time we come back, we have a great time here. And chicken and waffles is really nice. We don't get that too much in Philadelphia. All right. I also want to thank the dancers of Rainier Harris Pure Movement for holding me down, holding the company down. Company director Joshua Cobreth, his wife Emily Cobreth, who's the rehearsal director, Phil Catino, the dancers managing director and advisor as well. Our alumni who returned to stage after having a family of 4, Finance Mason. And I just want to thank them for helping to usher in some of the newer dancers as well, Maggie Waller, Rachel Snyder, Angel Anderson, and a few other folk who are just coming in. I want to thank them specifically for putting up with my contradictions, my forgetfulness, and my last-minute changes in choreography. All right. I'd like to also thank the production team, Bob Steinneck, lighting designer, who is solid and an amazing lighting designer who's sort of directed us and then began to lead us in a new direction with his designs. Sound designer Darren Ross, who manipulates and bends sound at his will, a genius in what he does. I wanted to extend a special thanks to James Klopfelter, who has lit the majority of my evening length works for just about 20 years. His it's rare that I'm inspired by lights. But his lighting has inspired me to do better and to question my process. So thank you. I also specifically want to thank this cat I've known since he had snot in his nose. I mean, literally, he used to have snot in his nose. He came up, got into it around 1988 and started touring. He toured with 50 Cent, Will Smith, Eve, The Roots, and other noted rappers and R&B singers representing Philly around the globe. He was a dancer in the company. He rose up in the company from the wardrobe person, and now he is the executive director of Rainier Harris Pure Movement. He has single-handedly changed the direction of this company and the way dance administrators and presenters engage with street dance, with the street dance community at large and street dance theater. I'd like to give a heartfelt Thank you to Mr. Rodney Hell. Lastly, I want to thank my children, Brandon, Avery, Victoria, and Mieko Vashi, who just had her debut, or about to have her debut here at ADF as a member of Rennie Harris Pure Movement. I want to thank all my children for their sacrifice, for sacrificing time with their father so I could be here, so I could do the work that I've been doing. So that was a major sacrifice. That had to be made for me to accept this award, to be able to to do what I do, and to be here tonight. So I want to thank them for that. Well, I think I'm done with my tears. And I'm loving my new glasses, though. Yeah. Nobody, like, after, they told me, like, well, after you're 50, you know what happens, you know. Oh, snap. Oh, and can I? This is my godson, Mr. Carter. I call him Mr. Carter. I want to give him some love because he's getting amazing grades in school. And this is my eldest daughter, Mieko Udvashi Rennie Harris. Oh, why, thank you. All right, I guess that was definitely the signal to get off. All right.